Forest class and Matthew class. Welcome to Monday's maths lesson. Hope you've had a nice weekend. Managed to go out a bit, have a little walk, and then are ready for some home learning today. Today, reception in year 1 children, we're going to do the same thing today. So there's not a reception bit and a year 1 bit. This is for everybody. Because this week we are starting to think about something called fractions. It's a big word, isn't it? Fractions. So today we're going to think about half and what half means. I'm going to think about that. So if I were to say to you, here is a pizza, you can have half of it. Would you know what that meant? Would you know if you were to have half a pizza? Hopefully you would know if you're going to have half a pizza, you would share your pizza into 2 parts and there would be 2 equal parts. So let me show you. So here is a pizza, and pizzas are in slices, aren't they? See if I can slice my pizza up. There we go. There's my pizza. And if I say to you, would you like to share a pizza? Would you like to have half of my pizza? What I'm saying is that I'm going to have some of it and you're going to have some of it. So our pizza is going to be in 2 parts. So here is my whole and I'm going to share my pizza into 2 parts. But what is really important when we're thinking about half is each part has to be equal. If I were to say to you, okay, would you like to share my pizza? We'll have half each, and I say, there's your half, here's my half. You would say to me, that's not fair, Sarah. You've got lots and I have only got a tiny bit. So when we are sharing in half, when we are finding half, the most important thing is that it's shared into 2 parts and each part are, is that really important word? We've looked at that word a lot this week in our maths, haven't we? Each part is equal. So if I was to share this pizza in half, there's a couple of ways I could do it, but here I'm going to shade in so that our pizza is in half. So I have 1/2 and you would have 1/2 and we would have equal parts. So a half is one of 2 equal parts. There we go. Really important sentence there. Half is one of 2 equal parts. So here is my pizza again. My pizza is the whole and I have split my pizza into 2 equal parts and each part is called a half. It's got a half. What I thought we could do now, if you could go and pause the video and go and get yourself a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper like this, or card or whatever you've got. A piece of paper. You could the books that we gave you could rip out a page from there if you need to. But get yourself a piece of paper. And we are going to look at folding our piece of paper in half to create 2 equal parts. So here's my piece of paper. Hopefully you've got one. Pause the video if you need to and go and get one. So first of all, I'm going to fold my paper from, so it's a rectangle, isn't it? So I'm going to go from short side to short side. I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to make sure that everything is lined up and then I'm going to fold it along there and then open it. There we go. My paper is folded into 2 parts. Each part is equal, so each of these parts is a half. 1/2 and another half. Now there's other ways in which we could fold our piece of paper so that it creates 2 equal parts. It creates 2 halves. So we could have done, and we'll do that now, long side to long side. So let's fold it again. We have lots of folds on our paper, but you'll be able to see. So fold it, it's a bit trickier. Now there's one fold. Line it up so it's side to side. There we go. Folded it in half. Ooh, let's check it's in half. So I have two parts, one here, one here. So I have folded my paper in half. Here is my whole, here is one half, here is the other half. It's in two equal parts, it's in half. Is there another way? I think that's the only other ways you can do a piece of paper so that the parts are equal. Because if I was to do this, look, I'm going to fold the corner in. See if I can create a half. Let me fold that corner in. So I've folded the corner in. Well, it's got two parts. Can you see the fold along there? Well, it's in two parts, look. It's got this part up here and this part down here, but they're not equal. So it's not folded in half. It's in two parts, but this part is much bigger and this part is much smaller. So it's just folded. It's not folded in half. Here is my fold in half. And here is my fold in half. So I want you on your piece of paper to have folded it into two halves, the both ways you can do it. Show me that you can fold a piece of paper in half to create two equal parts. Great. Remember, I'm going to keep saying this over the next couple of days. Half is one of two equal parts. Great. I have drawn some shapes on my board now, some of which I have shaded in half and some I have shaded in, but they're not shaded in half. So here are lots of shapes shaded. I want you to look at them and decide which ones are shaded in half. So I have created two equal parts, and which ones are not shaded in half. So either I've got a big part and a smaller part. They're not equal parts. Have a look at them. So work your way through them. Decide which ones are shaded in half. Okay, let's look at them. What do you think about this one? Remember, half is one of two equal parts. Well, look, it's in two parts. There's that part and that part. But are they equal? Yeah, I think they are equal. That one is shaded in half. Let's look at the next one. Is that one shaded in half? It's shaded into two parts. Are the parts equal? Is the shaded bit and the non-shaded bit equal? No, they're not equal. So it's not shaded in half. What about this one? This shape, I think, is easier when you look at it like that. When you look at it like that, you might think that the shaded part is bigger than the unshaded part. If you just turn it like that, I think that makes it easier to look at it. So it's shaded into two parts. Are they equal? Yeah, I think they're equal. I think they are. Let's do this big rectangle now. Now remember, I've drawn these, so these aren't exact. If we were really doing them in half, I would have to have used a ruler and been a bit more exact about it, but I've done my best. Here, it's in two parts. Good. It's in two parts. Are they equal? Yes. So this one is shaded in half. This one, what do you think? Two parts. Do they look equal? Yeah, I think they look equal. That shape is shaded in half. This one, oh, it's one part shaded in, but look. got 3 other parts there. That one shaded in half? No, that one is not shaded in half. This one? 2 parts. Are the parts equal? Yeah, I think so. That one is shaded in half. This one? 2 parts. Are they equal? Yeah, they're equal. What about this one? Is this one shaded in half? It's a big bit there, isn't it? That one's not equal. Even if you put those 2 bits together, I don't think it would make... Well, do you know what? I found this one really difficult because actually, if you put those 2 parts together, it would probably make the same shape as that. See what your grown-ups think. See what you think about that one. Because I think that one might be shaded in half. Because if I put that bit together and that bit together, it would probably equal that bit. So I think that might be shaded in half, that one. Tricky one, that one, isn't it? Tricky one. Okay, here's what I want you to do. 2 things I want you to do. I want you to have a go at shading some shapes in half. So on your whiteboard, I want you to draw a circle, a square, a rectangle, and a triangle. And if you can, you could draw a hexagon or an octagon, or the shapes that you know. And when you have drawn your shapes, I want you to shade them into halves. I want you to shade them into 2 equal parts. So on the circle, you might do it there and shade it in. Or maybe down the middle. However you want to do it. But I want you to have a go at shading your shapes into 2 equal parts in half. And I want everyone to have a go at that. When you've done that, Year 1 children, if you can do this, this is just a sort of an extra bit that you could do. If you've got a printer, you can print it off and do it. So you've got a sheet like this. What I want you to have a go at doing, it says here, I am learning to divide shapes into halves. Draw a line on each picture to divide it in half. Now, the thing that is tricky about this sheet is some of the pictures cannot be divided in half. They cannot be split in half because if you were to split them in half, they wouldn't be exactly the same on each side. Remember, half is one of 2 equal parts. So some of these, if you were to put them in half, it would be different. They would be different on each side, whereas when we did our drawings, the ones that are in half, they are exactly the same on each side. They're equal, they're in equal parts. So that's a bit of a challenge for Year 1 children to have a go at if you can. But everybody, remember, what I want to see on your boards is some shapes cut in half, please, and shaded. Now I have had lots of nice pictures from a couple of children. So Malia, you're really good at sending your learning to me, which is great. And Holly, you're really good at sending your learning to me as well. On Wednesdays, on our school Twitter page, we put on there the learning that children have been doing at home. So this week we had lovely Holly and Malia's learning on our school Twitter page for everyone to see the fabulous learning that you have been doing. I would love to see a few more pictures of the learning that you are doing at home. So if you can ask your grown-ups to take a photograph of your learning and email it to me, and then maybe this week you will see your learning on our Twitter page. It'd be really lovely to see what you've been doing. Okay, so more learning about halves tomorrow. Good luck with your splitting your shapes in half today. Okay, thanks very much. See you soon. Bye.